Well, quite obviously, I was in bed and asleep, as any 7-year-old child would be. But, you see, my mother refused to go to bed in that ship because she had this premonition, solely based on the fact that she said that to declare a vessel unsinkable was flying in the face of God. And so she was awake, and the moment she felt this impact, which she always declared wasn't very much from where our cabin was, she immediately wakened me and my father. So the first I remember of that actual night, of course, was being taken out of bed, my father carrying me up onto the deck. But young as I was, I had a most peculiar feeling about it because of my mother's intense unhappiness before we sailed, and even when we were on board. Well, my father put my mother and I into a lifeboat because we were on deck in plenty of time to get into a boat. And I didn't sleep the whole night. I saw that ship sink. I saw all the horror of it sinking, and I heard, even more dreadful, the cries of drowning people. And I was completely wide awake the whole night.
Now, all these years later, Ms. Hart, you see that there are people who are talking about salvage operations, and there are still others who say that it should be left as an historical site. What are your views?
And I don't say it should be left as a historical fact. I say it should be left because it's my father's grave. But if it is going to aid science tremendously or prove how clever we are by raising the Titanic, well, then nothing I say will stop them doing it. I only have the personal feeling of a woman whose whole life was altered and whose father was drowned that night, when he needn't have been if there'd been enough lifeboats. And for that reason, I think it should be left where it is.
In April 1912, Titanic went on its first and final voyage. This ship was known as the Unsinkable Ship and was the finest and newest machine of its time. Several mistakes here and there led up to the disaster that occurred on that cold April night. The people of the time thought that they were very knowledgeable about how things should be built and run. They were flying in the face of God. On Father's Day of 2023, Oceangate's Titan submersible led its first expedition of the year. This was the third year for this company to take people to the wreckage of the Titanic. At $250,000, many people decided that this was worth it, the great adventure to actually be at the site of the infamous and romantic history that is the Titanic. To be able to say that they've been there, they've seen that, they've done that. Oceangate uses the money for these expeditions to help finance further exploration, to help finance their science, and the continuation of research of the decay of this once majestic ship. On that fateful Father's Day, the crew disembarked to go down the 12,500 feet and 2.5-hour dive to where the Titanic is located. Titan is one of its kind and is an ingenuity in science. But does this confidence, like the Titanic, also fly in the face of God? How far do we have to push our boundaries in order to know that we are fallible indeed? About 1 hour and 45 minutes into this dive, communications ceased. communications are received back and forth from the mothership via text-like communications. The submersible did not come back to the surface. Anything could have happened. It could have got caught on a wayward fishing net. It could have gotten close enough to the Titanic to get hung up in the wreckage. With several very knowledgeable and expert people on board this submersible, I am sure that they have and are working hard on trying to find a way to save themselves, knowing that they have probably either lost power, lost their buoyancy to go back up, and knowing that they have lost communication. Many people from all over the world are now helping to find these 5 lost people at the bottom of the sea. They are hoping that they did make it up, that they're floating up at top. But sadly, it looks like they're not. They have 96 hours of oxygen before their time runs out. At the time of the posting of this video, they have less than 30 hours of oxygen left. There has been rumors of a ping going up, of a sound of tapping, but all of this is just rumors at this point. Let us hope and pray that all the people that are now gathered to search for this vessel will not only be able to find them, but get them out into safety before time runs out. Let us pray for these passengers and their families during this difficult time. Let's not make negative comments on videos like these, Twitter, or any other social media accounts, asking why would they go to the bottom of the ocean knowing the dangers? Why would they spend so much money? You cannot judge other people for what they want to do. Respect the fact that this was a once-in-a-lifetime event for them, and they were happy to do it. Whether it may or may not be your cup of tea, it is for them. Please show respect and kindness to all people involved. And let us hope and pray before Thursday morning that this crew will be found and will be safe and back home with their families. Here's what we know about the passengers. Hamish Harding, chairman of Action Aviation. Harding is the chairman of a company called Action Aviation, which sells aircraft to Fortune 100 companies, international corporation, heads of state, and people in the entertainment and sports industries, according to its website. The British businessman is referred to as a billionaire in the British press, but Forbes magazine noted that he is not included on its list of the world's richest people. Aside from his business, Harding is known for his exploits as an adventurer. He held several records with the Guinness Book of World Records, including fastest circumnavigation of Earth via both the geographic poles by airplane, which he and a team accomplished in 2019 in a little over 46 hours. Harding also was one of 6 people on Jeff Bezos-owned Blue Origin's mission last June when they flew to the edge of space. Before the Titanic expedition, Harding shared on Facebook that the mission was likely to be the first and only manned mission to the Titanic in 2023 because of weather conditions. In a statement on Tuesday, Action Aviation Manager Director Mark Butler said the company and Harding's family are very grateful for all the kind messages of concern and support from our friends and colleagues. We look forward to welcoming him home, Butler wrote. Shahzada Adewu and his son, Solomon, 48, is the vice chairman of Adewu Hercules, an investment and holding company based in Karachi, Pakistan. The company is part of the group, a family business for more than a century, according to his biography on the SETI Institute, where he serves on the board. He is heir to one of Pakistan's largest family fortunes, according to the New York Times. He is a resident of the UK and his wife and 2 children. He is also an ardent animal lover and has a master's degree in global textile marketing from Philadelphia University in the US and a law degree from Buckingham University in the UK. His son is 19 years old. He is a science fiction fan and also enjoys solving Rubik's Cubes and playing volleyball. We are grateful for the concern being shown by our colleagues and friends and would like to request everyone to pray for their safety, said the family in a statement. Paul-Henri Nargeolet, Titanic's greatest explorer, PH as he's known to friends, is known as a Titanic expert, according to the Oceangate website. He's led 6 expeditions to the ship's wreckage site and is known as Titanic's greatest explorer. He's also the director of underwater research for the RMS Titanic, an American company that owns the salvage rights to the wreck and operates exhibits featuring artifacts from the ship. About 30 million people have visited its exhibits. In an interview with CBS News, G. Michael Harris, founder of the RMS Titanic Inc., said Tuesday that he'd worked with Nargeolet for the past 30 years, describing him as an all-around good guy. Stockton Rush, CEO of Oceangate. Rush is the CEO of the company running the expedition. When he was 19, Rush was the youngest person to become a jet transport rated pilot when he earned a DC-8 type captain's rating at the United Airlines Jet Training Institute, according to his biography at Oceangate. Rush earned a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering from Princeton University in 1984 and an MBA from the Berkeley Haas School of Business in 1989. In 2009, Rush founded Oceangate, where he oversees the company's financial and engineering strategies, according to the company. He is also part of the inventor of the Titan sub.
Who are the typical clientele for these missions?
We have clients that are Titanic enthusiasts, which we refer to as Titaniacs. We have people who have mortgaged their home to come and do the trip. And we have people who don't think twice about a trip of this cost. We had one gentleman who had won the lottery.
And an experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
We only have one button, that's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
It's also the only one with a toilet.
You can use these off-the-shelf components.
I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on! I mean, you're putting construction pipes as ballast.
I don't know if I'd use that description of it, but there's certain things that you want to be buttoned down. So the pressure vessel is not MacGyver at all, because that's where we work with Boeing and NASA and the University of Washington. Everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can go, you're still going to be safe.
The crew closes the hatch from the outside with 17 bolts. There's no other way out.
I said, do you know where we are? 100 meters to the bow, then 470 to the bow. If you are lost, so are we.
We were lost. We were lost for 2.5 hours.